Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in today's webinar. My name is Isam Esper, a field application engineer with the support team of Electro Industries. Today's webinar would be talking about the Energy Reporter, PQA, and we will cover the different kind of reports you can get from the Energy Reporter. To get the Energy Reporter software, you can go, as you can see here, to our website, electroind.com. And then you can click on the products page. And scrolling down, you can see the energy management software. To give a quick overview about the software package, we just released the PQA software package. So when you install the software now, you will get three softwares together. The Communicator PQA, this is the basic free software. This is used to connect with the meter and do the basic programming and configuring for the meter. We also have the meter manager and the energy reporter. So the meter manager and the energy reporter are licensed version. You need to get the software license key for the communicator to have this meter manager and the energy reporter working. The meter manager, it's a server-based software. What would do exactly is setting a group of meters and do the auto configuration to have the log retrieval done from that group of meters. So the meter manager would be retrieving the logs from the memory of the meters and creating the DB files in your server or in your laptop. Then we have the energy reporter, and this is our today's webinar. The energy reporter, it's a billing and a power management software. Would be using that DB files created by the meter manager to generate the bills and the reports. So if you click on the Communicator PQA on this page, you can click on download CompQA Pro and you will get this form. So you just have to submit the form by filling this information and click submit. And then the download would start. When you get the software, you will get a zip file called setup like this. So you just have to extract that file. And we recommend to right click on the installer and run as administrator when you install the software. So when you do the installation, you will get these three shortcuts: the communicator and the energy reporter, setting editor, and the dashboard viewer. On the energy reporter setting editor here, you can see that we have the database based on the customer, location, and under that location, we will have the meters. So you can build this by adding the customer and add the rate and add the locations and add the meters to have your database ready to grab that information from the DB files on the created by the meter manager. So as we mentioned, we have three different reports we can get from the energy reporter. The first one is a billing report, which is the bills. And we have another two reports, which is a power management report. It's called the usage report and the custom usage report. I will start with the usage report first. So from here, from the energy reporter, we can switch to the dashboard viewer by click on this one, and we will get the dashboard viewer opened like this. So it's the same software. You can switch between the setting editor and the dashboard by going back here to setting editor. So at the reports here, I would choose from this option, generate usage report, generate customer report. And as you can see from this window, we can choose which customer. So in my case here, I would choose customer number 2. And then we go to options where we can choose the type of the file. So like, for example, here we can choose PDF, RTF, or HTML. or we can also change the report name. Instead of using the default report name, we can give it a name from here. The output path, this is where the file would be created. By default, it should be this folder here. I would show you. It will go to C, users, public documents, electro industries, e-billing ext, reports, usage. But you can choose different file path if you want, but this is the default one. This is where all the reports would be saved by default. So I'll click OK. And of course, the report commodity would be KWH. We have the option here to get a single page summary because the usage report, it's kind of big report, talking in details about different kind of usage, like daily, monthly, and weekly, and an average usage. If you don't need that detailed report, you can have the single page summary by clicking on this one. I'll click OK now. And from this window here, I can choose the start of the month by choosing here the first day. And the channel would be, of course, a KWH. And I'll click for which month I want to get the report and click generate. So this message here is populating because I did generate the report before. So it's telling me that it's already exists. Would you like to overwrite it? I would say yes. And it's generating that report now. Once it's done, you will get this message here asking you if you would like to view the report now. I will click yes. And as you can see here, I got this usage report, which is 22 pages. This is depending on how many meters on that location. So for example, here we have in this location, if I go back to the setting editor, I have just 2 meters. And the aggregated meter, it's created by default when we add the meters. You have the option to disable that. So you can see that this location has only 2 meters. And based on that, we got this 22 pages. So if we have more meters, you will get more pages because you would see now that this report would be talking in details for the usage about every single meter in that location. So the first page is a summary page about that month, talking about a general quick overview about that usage on that month. Then on the second page, we can see the 2 meters and that location and the usage summary for that 2 meters, sorry. Then we have here a comparison to show the highest usage meters. So you can see that we have these 2 meters and showing the highest usage. Then we have a monthly usage glance or overview. It's showing a quick overview about the monthly usage for that location. So you can see that we have the 17 meter and the 1800 meter, and we have also the aggregated meter, and it's showing the usage over the month in this chart. After that, we will start to get the details report or the details information about every one of the meters. It starts with the aggregated meter, as you can see. So the first thing, it would be showing the total usage during the month by this chart here. And then we have the total usage during the peak week. So it would show you which week was the peak usage. And then we have the total usage during the peak day. So this is all about the same meter, which is the aggregated meter. It also showing the average hourly and daily usage. So the first chart here showing the average hourly usage. And the second one is showing the average weekly usage. After that, we start get that comparison chart. So you can see that the first chart here, it's comparing between the usage or the consumption on this month comparing to the previous month. So the blue is for May and the green is for April. And the other chart would be comparing between the usage or consumption between this month and the same month on the last year. But because I don't have that information on that DB file, so I don't see the green bars here. And the last one should be showing the monthly usage based on the temperature. So I also don't have that temperature information or the weather information for that location at that time. So that's why I don't see that chart, but this is what it should be showing here. It will be showing the usage based on the temperature on that location. Then it starts showing that detailed information about the next meter. So you can see it's showing now for the 1700 Shams drive meter, and similar to what we get for the aggregated meter, we are getting now here for the 1700 Shams drive meter. It starts with the total usage on the month, the total usage during the peak week, then during the peak day, and the average hourly and daily, and the comparison between this month and the last month, and this month and the same month on the last year. So that's why based on how many meters we have in that location, this report would be having more pages or less to cover the additional meters. So this is called the usage report. We have also something else called custom usage report. I will go back here to the dashboard viewer, and from the same tab on the reports, click on generate custom usage report. So the custom usage report, it's an Excel spreadsheet. So you can see that we have the option to modify that and customize it. First of all, let's generate the custom usage report, and I would talk about how we can modify that. So I would choose the template default, and I would override this to choose my customer here, number 2. You have the option to choose the locations or one location, but I have only one location in that customer now. And you can also choose for one of the meters or all the meters in that location. I will click refresh and then choose that month I want to cover, and I will click generate. So as you can see, I got an Excel sheet report here, and it's showing the site number, previous read, and the previous read date, then the current read, and the current read date, and the other information. So I will keep this here, and let me show you where that information comes from. So going back to the setting editor, and click on edit provider, report settings, configure, custom usage report. And this is the settings for that usage report. So let me grab this and do compare between the two of these reports or the two windows here. So you can see that the first field here, it's called lock.name, and the header for that is the site number. So you can see the first column here is called the site number. So the header is site number, and that information grabbed from the location name on the software or on the database. Then we have the previous read, which is here. So I can add some items here, or I can modify this. Let's say that instead of the site number, I will call this location. And I will add this field here at the bottom. And from this window here, I can maybe add a meter name, for example. Click OK, and I will call it meter name or just meter. Then I will click OK. And going back to configure, I can generate the report, by the way, from here or going back to the dashboard viewer. So from the same window here, we did add this meter name and modify the first field to be location. I also can, by the way, move this up, show it very quick. Click OK again to save it. And from the same window here, we have the option to do the auto generate, and that would make the software generate the report automatically by itself, like based on the report period here we choose. Like for example, if I keep it like this, it would generate a report every month and save it on the same file path. So you have also the option to choose the starting date if you want to have the report for one location, not for the whole customer, or 1 meter only. So I will keep this and I would click preview, and I will get this window again, the same one when we did generate the custom usage report. I will choose customer number 2, this location, and all the meters there. Refresh, and I would choose the same time. I have to close that before, and click generate again. So you can see now, instead of the site number, the header is now called location. And the second column, which I added, it's called meter, and that gave me the meter name. So you have the option to add more items or modify the header for this report to get the report you want to have. Let me show you where all these files would be saved. So going to your C drive, users, public documents, electro industries, e-billing ext, and we have the reports folder here. So you can see we have the usage, and this is where the usage report, the PDF files had been saved. This is the file for that location. This is the 22 pages file. And if we go back to the custom usage, this is where the custom usage report would be saved. So we have the auto, and that's when enabled that auto custom usage report. This is where that file would be saved. So you can see now I have the month which I saved before, and it would start generating that monthly report every month. Or the user, which I did for this location just now. That's all about the usage report and the custom usage report. So if you just need detailed report with all the information, you can generate the usage report, which is a PDF file. And if you want just a small report, you can customize the Excel sheet by doing the custom usage report. So the other report we can get from the Energy Reporter, as we mentioned before, it's a billing management software. So before talking about that report, I would like just to mention how we can have that report. So going back to the Energy Reporter setting editor here, you can see that here I did build the customer, the location, and the meters. It's very important to have also the rate before generating the bills. So from edit rate here, you can create a new rate, or you can edit the rate which I have here. Let's add a new one just for an example. When you click on add rate, you have the option to choose a flat rate or seasonal schedule. So the flat rate would be just a fixed amount through all the season. You can give it a name here. And of course, from the commodity, you have to choose the KWH. But if I go back and choose seasonal schedule, you will get this window here where you can have different kind of rates based on the season. So you have the weekdays, you can have a holidays rate, you can add a fixed charge like a collection charge or something like that. This is the rates for that holiday or off peak, on peak, all that seasons. You can also have different rate for 2 seasons, like you can call season 1 and season 2, and you can click when that start and when the season 2 start. You can have more by choosing like 4 seasons, for example. And now you have the option to choose, set the date starting for every one of these 4 seasons here. This is just a quick over like how you can add the rates. So once you add the rate, you have to make sure that on that location, if you go to edit location, that you add the rate for that location. So you can see that I already built the test rate and it's assigned for this location. So you can click from add rate structure and you can choose from the available rates and click OK. So this is how the system would be working. It would collect that kWh and all the consumption information from the DB files created by the meter manager and multiply that by the rates you are building here on the software. So going back again to the dashboard viewer, I will choose the customer and the location here. And because I did generate the bills before, you can see that I have the bills generated for these months here. But if you didn't generate, or if you are just generating for the first time, you can click generate all bills and the system would start building the bills for all the locations and the customers. So I can click view bills and it would show me the available bills for that customer and that location I choose. And I would click on this one here, for example. And this is what I get. It's a 1 PDF page file showing that the test rate or the rate I'm assigning for that location. And this is the total amount. This is the customer information. And this is the period I'm covering from May 1st to the end of May. And it would be showing the previous reading and the current reading for every one of the meters inside in that location. So you can see we have 2 meters there, and this is the usage for per meter. This is the total usage, and multiplying that usage by the rate, we will get this amount to be paid. We have the option also to add the logo. You can build that on the Energy Reporter to have a logo added to the bills also. You can also, if you have found that the rate was incorrect, you can modify the rate and you can regenerate the bill again, and it would be save a new copy. So you can delete the bill, the previous one, and generate a new one. As you can see here, I have 2 bills for the same amount for the same period. Also from the dashboard viewer, you can go to the executive summary or the usage dashboard, sorry. So from the executive summary usage report, you can choose the channel and generate for all the customer location. So you will be generating the report, the usage report for all the customers there by one click. This is all about how we can get the different kind of reports from the Energy Reporter. And remember that we are talking about the EnergyReporterPQA. This is the new version of the software package we just released recently. You may be using the Energy Reporter EXT, which is version 4. It should be working on the same procedure, and we just have adding a new features for the EnergyReporterPQA and the PQA software, where we have the EIG cloud. This is something not available on the previous version. If you have any more questions or if you need any help, you can send an email to support@electroind, and we would be helping you in any question or any problem about the software or any of the Shark meters or the Nexus meters. Again, to get the software, please go to electroind.com, and from the product, you can go to Communicator PQA, download the CompQA, and this is the one setup file will give you the communicator and the energy reporter and the meter manager. Thank you again for joining us today, and have a good day.